So the Dura and debate emphasis on making flawless syllogisms, I think, is also very helpful for our common life. Yeah. And when I was teaching this, we spent a long time making up our own syllogisms because or I should say, testing our own syllogisms, not just making them up. Because in our life we have a lot of syllogisms, supposed syllogisms, when in terms of how we talk to ourselves and our self-image. And what I found is maybe one of the biggest handicaps to people in getting a Dharma practice going is the interference that comes from putting ourselves down and thinking that we're incompetent and insufficient and stupid and so on. And we have the way we talk to ourselves, a lot of our self-talk is in the form of flawed syllogisms that we think are flawless syllogisms. So if you look very closely, spend some time with this, and look very closely at how you think about yourself and what you say to yourself. Yeah, and especially when you're feeling rather down. So we'll come up with syllogisms such as, I am unloved because all my relationships end. Or I am unloved because I'm lonely. Or I'm stupid because I don't do as well as other people. I'm stupid because I can't think as quickly as other people. Yeah. Or I lack emotional intelligence because I'm always saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. And take those statements, make them into syllogisms, and then see if they have the 3 criteria or not. Okay? So let's take the one of I'm stupid because I don't do as well on exams as other people. Okay, so you test it. So, okay, your subject is I, your predicate is stupid, your reason is I'm a person who doesn't do very well on exams. So, does the reason agree with the subject? You know, I am a person who doesn't do well on exams. First of all, really check that out. Is it that you don't do well as on exams, or is it that you would like to do better than you do? You do well on exams, but you would like to do better. So check if really the reason applies to the subject or not. Then look at the pervasion. Is everyone who is stupid, does everyone who doesn't do well on exams stupid? Is there correct pervasion there? Of course not. Okay, there's many people who don't do well on exams that are very bright. So when we start examining all these kinds of false syllogisms that form our self-image, we realize that a lot of them are completely ridiculous. They are false syllogisms. And real understanding that is very, very helpful because these kind of wrong syllogisms are an incredible obstacle for us to learn, yeah, or to share with other people what we learn, because we're shooting ourselves in the foot by telling ourselves, even before we've done anything, that we're incapable. But when we really look at the syllogism that we're telling our mind about our own capabilities, we realize that they're not true. And then we can, put that self-image down, or whenever it comes up, because we're very habituated to it. Whenever it comes up, stop And, analyze that syllogism. Is this really true? Yeah. I am unloved because I'm lonely. Okay. So, yeah, I is the subject, unloved is the predicate, and lonely is the reason. Okay, so you check. I am lonely. Yeah, check if the reason agrees with the subject. Well, sometimes I'm lonely, but sometimes I'm not. Okay, so really, the reason doesn't agree with the subject to start with. Then, go look at the pervasion. Is everybody who lonely? Is everybody who is lonely unloved? That one is totally false, because everybody on this planet has people who love them. We cannot always see the love people give us. We want them to love us in one way and they love us in another way. But we are loved if we open our eyes to it. We are cared for. Yeah. So just because we feel lonely doesn't mean we're unloved. Yeah. This is a huge thing that we tell ourselves. And it's so untrue. And it's such a big handicap for us when we believe these untrue, flawed syllogisms. So really start looking at the way you talk to yourself and the way you think about yourself, and put it into syllogistic form like this, and then try and see if it's true or not. When we were doing this in the class that I taught, we were laughing so much because people got really brave and really transparent and just put up their syllogism about what they thought about themselves. And then as we were going through it, we were just laughing and laughing at how untrue what we often think is. Yeah, and this is very important in being a Buddhist practitioner, because we're trying to, before we can even realize emptiness directly, we have to have a correct inference of it. So if we can't even have a correct inference or a correct understanding about our own conventional nature, then that's just really a big obscuration for us. Yeah. So take these things out, really examine them, and learn to laugh at yourself. Learn to laugh at how silly our afflictive mind can be. And then see, that our reasons don't make any sense, and put these flawed syllogisms down.